11 radar tracking the first snowstorm of the season. This system started with rain and has been swirling snow around since early this morning. Road crews got ahead of the snow. Major roads are clear. There are still some tricky spots on the side streets, though. We have Team 11 coverage with Channel 11's Mike Holden and Alyssa Raymond checking out the road conditions right now. But first, let's get over to meteorologist Jessica Faith with the timing on how long this snow will push through. Jessica?
Hey, we've been tracking consistent snowfall all throughout the morning and now going into the second half of the day as we're about to start this noon hour around midday. We're tracking much of the same. We've been talking about it for quite some time. I mentioned it during the forecast this weekend, and it has verified it is here. Widespread snow showers right now. I want to zoom in on some of the more moderate downpours falling quite hard as we look toward the south and east of Butler, also throughout Beaver County. And you'll see that as you look at some of the brighter colors here on the radar, right around Beaver and points toward the south and west, that wider white that you see. But we're all fair game as we go throughout the rest of the day. Here's how it looks outside. Usually when we look outside viewing the tower cam, we can see well off into the horizon, seeing the buildings. Right now, I don't know if you can see, we have that blowing snow, low visibility, high winds, low temperatures, freezing wind chill. And I'll get into all of that, including Storm Tracker and what you can expect for the rest of your Tuesday. That's coming up in just a few minutes, so stick around.
All right, thanks, Jessica. Channel 11's Mike Holden has been monitoring conditions in and around Pittsburgh since 4 this morning, and he continues our Team 11 coverage live from the North Shore. Mike, how's the look out there?
Gordon, good afternoon to you. So we went from little to no precipitation to a full-on snowstorm in a matter of a couple of hours. After being out here for, no exaggeration, maybe 2 minutes at this point, I highly recommend the gloves, the mittens, the earmuffs, the hats, even the face masks in this instance. They all make a difference and will keep you warm. But I want to give you a lay of the land, if you will. As you can see out here, the sidewalks are extremely wet. They have been well salted. You can still see a couple pieces. As we move a little bit closer over to the roadway, this is significant progress and great news if you have to head out, maybe perhaps downtown from the North Shore. The roads are extremely wet. There is absolutely no accumulation at all whatsoever. And I can tell you, after checking in with crews and other people out on the roadway, they have run into little or no issues, at least at this afternoon hour. Now, I want to walk you through and take you back through the course of our day, because small accumulation did create some minor problems for drivers and walkers in parts of Allegheny County. The weather transitioned from light rain to snow in a matter of minutes early this morning. Plows and salt trucks, of course, moved in, and they were on top of it. Allegheny County Department of Public Works sent out 26 trucks to treat roads and bridges right at 4 o'clock this morning. And we can tell you this, they're still working, and they plan on doing so until all of the snow stops. Out in the city of Pittsburgh, 55 crews are currently treating and plowing for as long as needed. Folks told us they were ready for this first significant snow event of the season, but nonetheless, it's still kind of an adjustment.
So this isn't too bad. I'm just coming out here to stop by the bank, and I'm going right back inside. You know, kids have virtual, so.
Hey, it worked in his favor, and that's a big message, too. If you don't have to be out here for extended periods of times, great idea. If you do, bundle up. We also want to point out that if you're driving out here, you see the salt trucks, you see the plows, give them some additional space. Of course, we're going to continue to track the conditions throughout the course of this day, so look for the latest live updates on air for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock on the WPXI app and WPXI.com. Reporting live this afternoon from the North Shore, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Mike. And the further north you go, more snow. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond is live in Cranberry, Butler County. Alyssa, good afternoon.
Yes, more snow. I can confirm it is still snowing out here in Cranberry, and that wind is still whipping. We're right at the intersection of 19 here, and this is where it meets 228. And you can see the roads just look wet at this point. We've seen a lot of PennDOT crews, plow trucks, salt trucks out here, just going back and forth on these roads here. Before we came here to Cranberry, though, we spent most of the morning in Butler. That's where you probably saw us on Channel 11 Morning News. A very wet Main Street, but just about 5 miles away, a super slushy Route 68 and several inches of snow coating the grass and parking lots there. And one family we spoke to says the first snow of the year is always extra beautiful.
They wanted to go out early at 7 o'clock this morning, but we told them they had to wait. So they got their ice in a bucket on the deck and put it in the freezer for Italian ice.
What are you going to do today?
Just eat snow.
Okay. How's that taste?
Good.
But they will stay out here as long as we let them. I don't know if Nana and Pap will make it out that much, but they love it. And we haven't had snow for so long, so we're going to enjoy it. The first snowfall is always special.
Isn't it making beautiful memories there? Aren't they the cutest? This is 4-year-old Claire and her 2-year-old brother Connor. We saw them enjoying the snow and, just had to stop to talk with them as they were outside playing with their grandparents. As you can see there, they also got to try out their brand new sleds. Now we want to bring you back out here live again, 19 and 28 at this point at 12 in the afternoon. Just wet here, and taking a look at our accumulation. Definitely have a couple inches here, and can also confirm you can build a snowman with this. Reporting live in Cranberry this afternoon, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. Channel 11 viewers have been sending in pictures. This one is from Aliquippa, showing a good coating of snow on the grass out there and the road passable, but you can see how slick it likely is. This picture sent in by a viewer in Hopwood, Fayette County, and you can see a snow-covered yard, footprints leading up to the house there. And like we were saying about the side streets, you can see how tricky they could be by looking at this picture sent from a viewer in Shaler Township. So if you have to head out, just be a little careful. You can share your photos of the winter storm with us. Just post them on Twitter with the hashtag WPXI Storm. We may use them on TV or our social media platforms. Breaking now, another high COVID case count. The Allegheny County Health Department just released an update. It's reporting 603 new cases since yesterday. The county also reported 5 additional deaths dating back 2 weeks. All of those patients were over 60. Later this afternoon, Governor Tom Wolf is set to make an announcement on COVID-19 testing. You can look for the developing details tonight at 5 on Channel 11 News. The State Department of Health is bringing a free COVID-19 test site to Butler County this week. That test site will be up at Michelle Krill Field in Butler. That will run tomorrow through Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The site is a drive-through and indoor walk-in clinic. Up to 450 patients can be tested each day. No appointment is needed, and they say the results will be available in 2 to 7 days. Positivity rates on COVID tests have been cause for concern, and because of that, Allegheny Health Network is now limiting patient visits again. The new policy will impact AHN's hospitals and outpatient centers. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, the health network will make exceptions for labor and delivery, NICU, pediatrics, and end-of-life care. AHN says the move is necessary to protect their frontline caregivers. The Centers for Disease Control will meet in about 2 hours to talk about distribution plans for a coronavirus vaccine. The CDC will decide who will get the vaccine first. NBC's Tom Costello has more on who is likely to get those first doses.
With 2 COVID vaccines potentially just weeks away from being ready for distribution, today a critical next step. The CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee meets to decide who should get vaccinated first. Committee Chair Dr. Jose Romero says healthcare workers are a top priority.
Not just the nurses and the doctors, but also the support personnel, housekeeping persons who deliver food to patients.
Also likely to be at the front of the line, people working and living in nursing homes. After the fastest vaccine development program in history, Operation Warp Speed's distribution challenge is now in the hands of the military.
The key thing is to rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. So number one, you have to have a plan. And then you have to rehearse it with the states.
Both Pfizer and Moderna are awaiting FDA authorization. The FDA's outside advisory panel meets on December 10th. Approval could come within days or weeks. Already, a massive global network is taking shape, rushing vaccine doses across the globe, anticipating FDA approval. And while the nation's top health experts warn of a surge in cases over the coming weeks, this morning, new signs of optimism.
Rather than getting discouraged, which is an understandable emotion to a terrible ordeal that we've all been through, hang in there. The end is in sight.
A long list of questions that simply we don't have the answers to, and experts say, listen, we are still in the test phase of this, and even though you and I and others may get vaccinated, they're going to do follow-ups to see what the impact is in the coming months and years ahead. Guys, back to you.
Tragic story now out of Baldwin Township. Police say a 2-year-old boy was accidentally strangled by a pull cord on a set of blinds near his crib over the weekend. Police say he was with a babysitter when it happened. An officer and a medic who lived nearby did all they could to help the boy before medics got there, but they could not save him. The Window Covering Safety Council recommends if you have kids, you should only use cordless window coverings or blinds with cords inaccessible to children. A man is in critical condition after being shot in the face and running for help on the south side. We followed this as breaking news last night at 11. Police say the victim was shot on Bingham Street, then ran to East Carson Street for help. No word yet on an arrest. A man is accused in a double shooting in Armstrong County. He is now in custody. State police took Chad Goldstrom in yesterday. Police say they identified him from surveillance video. He's accused of shooting 2 men on Market Street in Leechburg on Sunday. We've learned Brian Oss was shot in the neck and is paralyzed from the neck down. Justin Shook was shot in the arm and is in stable condition. The state Supreme Court justices have the next 150 days to decide if Bill Cosby's conviction should be overturned. They heard arguments in the appeal this morning. The 83-year-old comedian is 2 years into a 3 to 10-year prison term. A lower appeals court has already upheld his conviction, but the state's high court agreed to review 2 key issues in the case. The decision to let prosecutors call 5 other accusers to testify about past encounters with Cosby and whether the jury should have heard evidence that Cosby had given drugs to women in the past. A ruling is not expected until sometime next year.
I'm tracking widespread snow this midday. Coming up next, I have an update on snow totals so far this morning and what we can expect for the rest of the afternoon. I have the updated storm tracker and we'll show you coming up in just a few minutes.
2 COVID vaccine candidates could be green-lighted this month, and a local official took part in one of the trials. What he's saying about the side effects that he experienced. And let's hope 3's the charm. The big Steelers-Ravens matchup has now been pushed to tomorrow. What a Christmas tree has to do with the game being held at 3:40 in the afternoon. No game tonight at Heinz Field. The Steelers-Ravens matchup that was supposed to play out on Thanksgiving night has been postponed for a 3rd time. So are you ready for some Wednesday afternoon football? The NFL Network is reporting the Ravens will fly into Pittsburgh tonight. The daytime kickoff is all because of a Christmas tree. It has to be played in the afternoon since NBC has already committed to broadcasting the lighting of the Rockefeller Christmas tree in New York City tomorrow night. The game, of course, put on hold yesterday after Ravens players threatened to strike if they had to play without practicing. ESPN is reporting only 38 out of their 53 players are cleared to play, as players that have been benched are on the COVID reserve list. Part of the reason the Steelers have stayed undefeated has been their ability to focus despite COVID distractions.
This is just an unusual year when it comes to, everything that we have to do and that everyone has to do. I mean, we saw it early, obviously, with the Titans game and buys and all these kind of things. I mean, what are you going to do? You just gotta do what they tell you and go play ball.
The Steelers also say quarterback coach Matt Canada has been cleared to return. He was out with an illness and will be on the sidelines tomorrow. Kickoff for tomorrow's game is 3:40 here on Channel 11. Our pregame coverage starts at 2:30. The Steelers-Washington game, by the way, which was scheduled for this Sunday, has also now been pushed back because of all of this. That is now going to be at 5 o'clock Monday at Heinz Field. Because of COVID-19 restrictions in San Francisco, the 49ers will play their next two home games away from home. They will play at the home field of the Arizona Cardinals. That move was necessary after health officials restricted contact sports in San Francisco due to the spread of COVID-19.
They were fairly mild, a little bit of a fever for about 12 hours, a little bit of achiness and a little bit of fatigue.
Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald describes the symptoms he experienced while taking part in Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine trial. Moderna is now seeking emergency use from the FDA for that vaccine. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca found out why Fitzgerald and another county official decided to participate in the trial.
Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine could be coming soon after the company requested an emergency use authorization from the FDA.
I said, well, if you're going to do it, I will.
Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald took part in the vaccine's trial at the guidance of Dr. Deborah Bogan, the county health director.
Let's trust our scientists and our doctors. They've been pretty accurate throughout this whole process.
He received 2 shots and wasn't told if it was a placebo or the actual vaccine. He believes he received the vaccine.
He goes, when I got the second shot, they described to me symptoms that would occur, and those symptoms did occur. They were fairly mild. A little bit of a fever for about 12 hours, a little bit of achiness and a little bit of fatigue. And then it went away after a very, just a few hours. So I kind of have a sense that I did get the real thing.
He says a small price to pay in an effort to stop COVID-19 from ravaging the country.
We now have almost 300,000 people in this country who've passed away. We're losing 2,000 people a day to this virus and so many other things that have occurred with sicknesses and illnesses, economic hardships that have occurred because of this virus.
Southwestern PA has seen a recent rise in COVID cases, and there's concern about even more cases after this past holiday weekend.
You heard a lot of advice at the state level, at the local level, to try to be careful on how you do Thanksgiving, how you get together over the weekend. We'll find that out in a couple of weeks because there's usually about a week to 2 delay in when those results come about.
Worries that will hopefully be a part of the past if Moderna's vaccine is approved.
We may be near the end. We may be near the next couple of months to which we have a vaccine and we can get back to a little bit of a normal life that we all want to get back to that we had before this pandemic.
Reporting in Allegheny County, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
3 nightclubs have been shut down for breaking Allegheny County's coronavirus rules. All 3 were open and operating without health permits and operating as nightclubs. Ophelia African Restaurant in Carrick has been ordered to close. The county says 1 live NPC in Marshall was serving liquor past the 11 p.m. cutoff, not enforcing social distancing, and didn't have its occupancy posted. And Bulldog in Lincoln Leamington also closed. This was the club's second offense.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
These snow totals so far today have been quite impressive. Ohio Pile, 8.5 inches today. That's just during the first half of the day, and snow will continue throughout the rest of the day. 7 Fields over 4 inches, Mars 4 inches, Brush Valley 3.5 inches, and over 3 inches in Moon. But that 8.5 inches, just wow. And again, that's not the end of the story. Much more snow will continue to fall. We've been tracking widespread snowfall throughout the entire day, pretty consistent all morning. And that's what we're going to see as we go later into the afternoon. I'm showing you that on Storm Tracker right now. This forecast has been verifying so far this morning and is expected to continue to be widespread and consistent into the afternoon hours. So you're going to continue to see that falling snow even into the evening and night. nighttime hours. So for any commute, evening commute, your commute during the nighttime, know that it will be impacted by this snowfall and also other factors. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. Now, notice the snowfall tonight. There could be more breaks, not as widespread. Coming up in the next half hour, I actually have your storm tracker for tomorrow to show you how your morning commute could be affected, but definitely going to be affected today, especially if you're headed out anytime soon. All morning, we've had reduced visibility, less than a mile visibility for Pittsburgh, Greensburg, and you see it behind me. A temperature right now of 28 degrees. The wind coming in very strong all morning in the teens and even 20s, gusting near 30 miles per hour. Going to make it feel much colder as we go throughout the rest of the day. Feels like temperatures will continue to be in the teens and 20s as we go further into your afternoon. Really not changing much. No improvement expected. Actually falling some more tonight. Temperatures getting into the 20s, 26 degrees for the overnight low, and throughout the night, snow will continue to fall. Also, temperatures will feel much cooler than the actual overnight low, with winds coming in strong, still staying strong at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So many impacts expected. Again, in the next half hour, I have your storm tracker for Wednesday, but we do still expect snow showers. So not only is your commute affected today, going to be affected tomorrow, especially during the morning. We do expect clearing throughout the afternoon and evening hours. Hey, maybe even seeing a peak of sunshine for the second half of the day, but that's after we have some pretty impactful weather for tomorrow. Some leftover snow showers, sunshine, mostly sunny for your Thursday. Notice how temperatures continue to stay in the 30s. This is not a day where you want to spend an extended amount of time outside. Feels like temperatures are much colder. I'm going to have another look at feels like temperatures for today and even going into your Wednesday. We're still expecting wind chills to be in the teens. We're looking better as we close out the rest of this work week. Heading into the weekend, I'm tracking possible snow once again mixed with rain.
Thanks, Jessica. Lost at sea, clinging to his capsized boat with no chance of anyone finding him, but they did. The amazing rescue coming up just ahead. But first, restaurant rage. What happened moments before a worker was forced to fight off a customer? Port Authority drivers will not be decorating buses for the holiday this year. A spokesperson says they don't want to encourage riders to board buses that have capacity limits, and they don't want the decorations to interfere with daily cleaning. The union cited decorated buses in a lawsuit, and the transit agency is waiting for a decision in the case. Southwest Airlines has opened up the middle seat on flights. That means the airlines will begin booking travelers in the middle seat just before the Christmas and New Year's Eve travel period. Southwest officials say the decision wasn't made lightly and is based on the latest infection data. American, United, and JetBlue have been booking the middle seat. Delta says it won't begin booking the middle seat until April. A woman was so angry her pickup order wasn't ready that she took it out on a worker. A San Francisco woman was upset about it, and surveillance video shows the customer throwing a bottle of hand sanitizer at the worker and her young son behind the counter. That's when the restaurant's manager, also the boy's grandmother, got involved, grabbing a table to defend her family. In the video, you can see the manager use the table as a battering ram, chasing the customer outside the restaurant.
Thinking if she can hit my grandson, I mean, I do whatever I have to do. That's all. I was thinking nothing. I don't thinking in that moment.
Fortunately, no one was hurt, but this could have easily had a very different outcome.
We continue to have impactful widespread snow for the rest of the day, but that's not all. Leftover snow showers continue into your Wednesday. I have a look at what you can expect coming up in our next half hour of news.
And our team of reporters are out on the roads. A closer look at the conditions right now, next at 12:30. Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar tracking the first big snowstorm of the season. This system started out with rain and has been swirling snow around since early this morning. The road crews got ahead of the snow. Major roads are clear, but there are still some tricky spots on the side streets. Meteorologist Jessica Faith has been tracking the storm all day, and she's back with the impact that the snow could have on the evening commute. Jessica?
Yeah, and I've actually been tracking this system when it was down toward the south, impacting the southeastern states, actually providing snow to states like Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and now we're seeing it. We've been watching the widespread snow all morning, some a little steadier than other locations. We're watching some more moderate snowfall around Beaver, just to the south of Beaver, throughout Beaver County, and that's where you see the brighter spots there, but we're all fair game this midday and also as we go throughout the rest of this afternoon into the evening. Current temperatures haven't really moved much. We are all below freezing. We've been below freezing. Right now, current temperature in Pittsburgh, 28 degrees. The winds have been impressive today. They've been playing a big factor in today's impacts with the forecast, making that blowing snow very hard to see outside as you're on the roadways, reducing visibility. Coming in Greensburg right now, sustained wind of 17 miles per hour. That's making the wind chill, make it feel like we're in the teens. This is not a day where you want to spend an extended amount of time outside. We all feel like we're in the teens, with the exception of Morgantown right now at 23 degrees, but all across the board it is bitterly cold outside. Make sure to bundle up if you're about to build a snowman or go sledding. We will continue to have that consistent snowfall today, but up next I have a look at tomorrow's forecast and we'll let you know when you can see some snow for Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Jessica. And Channel 11's Liz Kilmer has been driving around the South Hills. She joins us live from Mount Lebanon Park. Liz, how's it look out there?
Hey, good afternoon, Gordon. Yeah, so like you said, we are here in the Mount Lebanon Park, and it is looking like a winter wonderland. It looks absolutely beautiful out here. The snow has been coming down really consistently, and as Jessica mentioned there, it is really windy and pretty cold. The good news is we haven't been seeing a lot of issues on the roadways, and I want to show you actually, you can see the parking lot here. It does, of course, look like this was paved, but really we're not seeing the snow sticking. So, of course, the pavement here must be warm enough that we aren't seeing a lot of residual snow building up. So that is some good news here. This snow, it's really a nice fluffy snow. I think this is good snowball snow. And I want to actually show you how some folks are enjoying this weather. Gonna point you over in this direction where you can see we have some families that are actually sledding. We saw some more, I would say about 20 minutes ago. I think folks are getting cold and heading home, but we are seeing some families still out here enjoying this weather. With that said, though, a lot of kids actually have not been enjoying a snow day because considering a lot of districts are doing the virtual learning, they didn't have to call a snow day. So a lot of kids are still learning. Now from here, we're going to continue traveling around the South Hills. We're going to check out conditions and we will have updates for you tonight at 5 and at 6. Live in Mount Lebanon, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Liz. And like we were saying about the side streets, you can see how tricky they can be by looking at some of the pictures sent in from viewers in Shaler Township like this one. So if you have to head out, just be careful. Cars and yards covered in this picture sent in by a viewer in Cranberry Township, but you can see the road and sidewalk is clear. If you'd like to share your photos from the winter storm, you can post them on Twitter with the hashtag WPXI-Storm, and we may use it on TV or our social media platforms. Students in the New Kensington-Arnold School District will continue learning remotely through January 13th. According to our partners at the Trib, students will return as long as there is no significant increase in COVID-19 cases. The district went fully remote November 20th ahead of Thanksgiving break. Next year's national math and reading tests are on hold. Federal officials say the tests are used to track what U.S. students know. They're now being postponed until 2022. The move comes over concerns about whether testing in early 2021 would even be feasible among the pandemic. Each year, hundreds of thousands of 4th and 8th graders take the progress tests used for the nation's report card. A new government watchdog report raises concerns about how the government is handling the pandemic. In this 400-page report, the Government Accountability Office looked at testing, unemployment, and medical supplies. When it comes to testing, the Government Watchdog Group found the national testing strategy is causing confusion across the country and leading to the distrust in the government.
Having trust in the government is just critical right now. That messaging needs to be consistent. And that's what we're finding today, is that the messaging has not been consistent. And we're seeing that with testing.
The recommendation calls for more transparency, which the Department of Health and Human Services agrees with. The largest hunger relief group in the country says 50 million Americans may not have enough to eat by the end of the year. Feeding America says the problem is caused in part by the pandemic. The group estimates 8 billion meals will be needed over the next year. Lost at sea, clinging to his capsized boat with no chance of anyone finding him, but they did. The amazing rescue coming up next. This man has an amazing survival story to tell after his boat capsized. The 62-year-old man was lost in the ocean off the coast of Florida for 2 days. The odds of someone spotting him were slim, with an estimated 1 in 100 million chance of surviving. NBC's Kerry Sanders takes us through what led up to the amazing rescue.
This is the face of survival. 62-year-old Stuart B., dehydrated and weather-worn, but remarkably alive after a terrifying struggle at sea. 3 days after he left port, 86 miles from the Florida shore, Stuart B. was found clinging to a tiny portion of his 32-foot boat. It's hard to make out, but that's an exhausted yet determined Stuart, arms wrapped around the bow, the rest of the boat submerged. Incredibly, in the vast Atlantic Ocean, the crew of the cargo ship Angeles spotted him.
We just rescued one person from a capsizing boat.
Later, Stuart on the ship-to-shore radio with the Coast Guard.
I didn't see anybody. I thought it was this is it. And then I saw a container vessel in the distance, and I don't have my glasses. I couldn't see if it was coming to me or not, but I began waving and took my shirt off and waved at her periodically.
The picture I see, he's standing on the bow and he's dark. And when you're looking from the bow of a vessel like the cargo container or even from an aircraft, that all kind of like melds into the ocean, doesn't it?
Unbelievably so. I can't even put into words how shocking it is that they saw him out there on that water, 86 miles from shore.
The U.S. Coast Guard had already scrambled one plane to look for the missing boater when Stewart was rescued.
A person standing on a bowsprit is that's almost a made-for-TV moment. That is the first time I've seen anything like that in my 27 years of doing this. That is truly an extraordinary case.
Stewart did have emergency equipment on board to send out a distress signal and pinpoint his location, but it was underwater.
3 times I tried to hold my breath and swim down and get it, but I couldn't reach it.
Monday night in the cargo ship's galley, Stewart taking this photo with the sailor who rescued him. Stewart's family grateful.
The first thing he said was, "You're never going to guess what happened to me." I'm in disbelief. I can't believe that they found him.
Just amazing there. Carrie Sanders reporting. Stewart B. told the Coast Guard he doesn't know why the boat sank. He was asleep when it began to take on water. When you first buy a home, you get a lot of ads in the mail. Some can save you money. Our consumer advisor shows you the one ad you should toss right in the trash.
Snow totals through the first half of the day have been quite impressive. Ohio Pile, 8.5 inches, and don't count on the snow stopping anytime soon. Up next after the break, I have a look at tomorrow, and we'll show you when the snow will finally come to an end.
Today is Giving Tuesday. Facebook says it's matching $7 million in donations to nonprofits in the U.S. The company is also launching a new fundraising feature under Community Help to encourage people to give. When you buy a new home, your mailbox will start to fill up fast with advertisements. Our consumer advisor Clark Howard has the one thing you could toss right in the trash.
If you just bought a home recently, congratulations. Well, when you buy a home, suddenly you'll get a number of mailings saying, you should buy this, you should pay for this subscription, whatever and whatever. The one that I hear about the most is where you're offered by the bank mortgage life insurance. Let me tell you, if there's something that's junk more than mortgage life insurance, it's hard for me to figure out what it would be. Let me tell you what this thing is. The bank gets you to buy a life insurance policy that they're the beneficiary of. They talk about how much it's going to benefit your family by paying off your mortgage, but the proceeds go to the bank. If you pass away, that money may be better used for something else, but wait, it gets worse. The premiums the bank charges you, roughly 10 times what a real life insurance policy would cost. So the bank not only is charging you way too much, but they're doing something to benefit them at the mortgage company, not you. If it spurs you on to think you need life insurance, great. You want to buy something called Level Term, I explain what you should buy and how to shop it at Clark.com. I'm Clark Howard.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We've seen plenty of snow for today and have talked about the many impacts, but I know a lot of you have been waiting on the first decent snowfall of the season. I'm sure you're enjoying it, maybe building a snowman and getting into a snowball fight or sledding today. And those snow totals have really been adding up throughout the first half of the day. A lot of spots have plenty of snow for sledding. And throughout the afternoon, we're going to keep temperatures right around freezing or even below freezing for many spots. Right now, temperatures are in the 20s, really all across western Pennsylvania. So we have cold temperatures to support snowfall and snow sticking, and we will see consistent snowfall throughout the rest of the day. Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar live right now showing that widespread snowfall. Where you see the brighter colors, that's the more moderate snowfall. We're kind of seeing a little bit more, and we see that right now right around Beaver, north of Washington, south of Butler, right around Franklin as well. So for the rest of the day, I mentioned this earlier just a few minutes ago before the break. If you're looking for any breaks in the snowfall, just stop looking. We're going to continue to have that widespread consistent snowfall throughout the day into the evening and nighttime hours. Even snowing tonight. Overnight lows dropping into the 20s. I shouldn't really say dropping. We're already in the 20s, 26 degrees for the overnight low. Winds coming in strong from the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today, we've seen some strong winds, making it feel much colder, making it feel like the teens across the area. And here's the wind chill forecast. Here's tomorrow morning, stepping out the door. If you're going to work first thing in the morning, feeling like 18 in Pittsburgh, feeling like 17, Greensburg, Indiana, Washington, Butler. And here is your forecast as we go throughout the overnight hours. I mentioned that the snow will continue. The model has been hinting at a decrease in coverage. I do expect a decrease in coverage. What I don't expect is this much of a decrease. I think we're going to continue to have snow falling throughout the morning into the afternoon, though. That's when we could see a pretty big decrease. And I do, though, expect a decrease in cloud cover, seeing peaks of sunshine, just peaks, going from mostly cloudy to more partly cloudy conditions by the afternoon. So Wednesday starts off with some lingering flurries, improving conditions throughout the day, allowing more sunshine into the afternoon. Here's your 5-day forecast. The blustery conditions with the high winds, wind gusts around 30 miles per hour, very cold temperatures, feeling like we're in the teens. Consistent snowfall today can make for very hazardous conditions on the roadways. We have reduced visibility all across the area. Continue to check in with Severe Weather Team 11 for the rest of the day. We will provide updates on air and online, even on our app, the WPXI weather app. So continue to check in so you can be safe. Temperatures for the next few days, overnight lows will be in the 20s, highs will be in the 30s, mostly sunny, thank goodness, by Thursday. Into the weekend, we can see even more snow mixed with rain for this weekend. Fine-tuning that forecast, so continue to check in the days ahead.
All right, thanks, Jessica. Dictionary.com has announced the 2020 word of the year, and I probably don't need to tell you what it is: pandemic. Here's the official definition: a disease prevalent throughout an entire country, continent, or the whole world. COVID-19's unprecedented impact made pandemic the obvious choice for Dictionary.com. That also gave rise to new phrases like pandemic economy, pandemic schooling, and pandemic dating. Now here's local steals and deals.
Well, let me tell you what's going on. This is an idea that you're going to say, why didn't I think of that? This is the touchscreen purse, and right now we're all trying to be as clean as possible, simplify our lives as much as possible, be as organized as much as possible, really be aware of our surroundings. You know how that goes? This is such a fabulous idea because when I leave the house, I have to have my phone. Now, oh my gosh, I need my hands. Do I put my phone down? No, now I have it. This touchscreen purse has a great place to put my phone in the back, but here's the unbelievable part. This really works. Oh my gosh, I love it. It works with all different sizes of phones, and the phone can be in the case, and you have space for keys and readers and lip gloss and whatever you want to have in there, which I have all my stuff in there, so it's all good to go. I'm not the only one who thinks it's a great idea. Laura Grenier from Shark Tank, who is a sweetheart, by the way, thinks it's a great idea as well. We have different patterns and different colors, so you can definitely have them to match different outfits. But now when you leave the house, you're not going to have to go, oh no, I don't want to put my phone down on the table and walk away. Oh no, I have too many things in my hand, right? How easy and streamlined and efficient is your life? Voila! Crossbody, RFID protection, adjustable, all the technology you want, and it's going to work with any of the phones that you use. By the way, it's also 20% off on localsteals.com.
A dog and her owner reunited in Illinois 11 months after they got separated. In December of last year, a visitor left a door open and the dog named Gracie darted out. But over the summer, neighbors noticed the dog on their security cameras. What they didn't know is that Gracie's home was less than 2 miles away. She was too scared to go near people, but one determined neighbor started feeding Gracie and gained her trust. And after several months, the neighbor captured Gracie, and a microchip led her to the dog's owner.
In the world that we live in, and we hear all these bad things, that there are actually kind-hearted, generous people who are willing to go above and beyond.
It is great to see. Gracie was not injured. She survived Chicago's streets through winter, spring, summer, and fall, but now she is back home for Christmas. A gas station attendant in Oregon struck up a conversation with a customer while filling his tank, and after the two parted ways, something the attendant said must have stuck with the man, because just 10 minutes away, that anonymous man pulled into a Kia dealership and bought the gas station attendant an SUV. He took off without leaving a name, and the salesman gave the attendant the good news.
It's a 2016 Kia Sportage. I can't, well, I mostly just can't wrap my head around the just sheer kindness of that complete stranger to talk to somebody for 5 minutes and then go, I'm going to buy him a car.
That's pretty amazing. He says he's grateful for the kindness of strangers and would just like to be able to thank that man. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.